Hello, everybody. I'm Dr. Purnima Kulkarni, and I'm back with my show, Boggling Conversations. You are on Rivers, energy that flows. Okay, so once again, I have a surprise for you people. Let me sing an old classic for you. ए दिल है मुश्किल जीना यहाँ जरा हटके जरा बच के ये है बॉम्बे मेरी जान आहा हो ही हा ला 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 भाई एक गाने में आपने पूरी मुंबई देख ली. दिस वॉज द मैजिक ऑफ गुरु दत्त साहब. क्या मूवीज बनाया करते थे. And he would market his movies through his songs, through his mellifluous, melodious songs. एक और हो जाए. सर जो तेरा चकराए या दिल डूबा जाए आजा प्यारे पास हमारे काहे घबराए सर जो तेरा चकराए या दिल डूबा जाए आजा प्यारे पास हमारे काहे घबराए तेल मेरा है मुस्की दर्द रहे ना खुशकी जिसके सर पे हाथ रखूं मैं बनेगी किस्मत उसकी सुन 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 अरे बेटा सुन इस चंपी में बड़े बड़े गुण लाख दुखों की एक दवा है क्यों ना आजमाए काहे घबराए. ये गाना अगर आपने कोई नाई की दुकान के बाहर लगा दिया तो लाइन लग जाएगी भाई. Marketing is all about consumer orientation and consumer satisfaction. And today I'm going to take you to the digital media world, and we have a firebrand of digital media, Dr. Sanjay Arora. Dr. Arora, welcome to Boggling Conversations. And this is energy that flows. So I'm sure you're going to bubble with a refreshing bundle of effervescence and vivacity as usual. Welcome to the show, Dr. Arora. May I tell the viewers that he holds a PhD in brand management. He is a man of titanic intellect, a man of letters, and the Scindia School Gwalior is his alma mater. And Dr. Sanjay Arora, it's been such a privilege to have you on Boggling Conversations today.
Thank you so very much, ma'am. I'm not as articulate and as verbose as you are. So thanks a lot for having me on. और जरा मेरे सर पे हाथ रख दीजिए, मेरी भी किस्मत चमक जाएगी अभी आपने गाना गाया ना, तो शायद मेरी तकदीर भी चमक ही जाए.
क्या बात है संजय जी, क्या बात है. I want to tell you that we are the topic for today's program is the digital, marketing conundrum. And I wish to tell the viewers that digital marketing is not a new concept. Well, I'll take you to the world of 80s, Tanati, badminton. राजू, तुम्हारे दांत तो मोती जैसे चमक रहे हैं. क्यों ना हो मास्टर जी, मैं तो डाबर का लाल दंतमंजन इस्तेमाल करता हूँ. ये बेचारा काम के बोझ का मारा, इसे चाहिए हमदर्द का टॉनिक से जी. So digital marketing has always been there. Dr. Sanjay Arora, my question to you is, what are the essentials of digital marketing? And, when we say digital marketing, what exactly do we mean?
This is there are various myths that surround this whole thing. Basically, if you look at it, there's only one word that has got added on to marketing. So the foundations remain the same, as always. This is all about marketing done using a new medium, which is digital. So within digital, you have two different areas. One is what we call as social media marketing. A lot of people confuse these two too. So social media is where people come together, chat, talk, post pictures, comment, etc. So all your Facebooks, Twitter, Instagram, these are your social media. Whereas then there are other channels like Google, AdWords, etc., where you actually are not socializing in the true sense of the word. Or YouTube also, for example, you post content or things which people have to stumble upon, or you push them up through SEO or promotions, and then they land up in your funnel through which you take them to maybe from awareness to sales. So this whole methodology of how the customer would be identified and influenced is done digitally, so therefore it's called
Yes,
digital. Otherwise, the fundamentals of marketing, all the fundamentals of marketing remain where they are, where they've always been. So
they've
let's keep
always
it
been.
very
Correct.
simple.
Correct. Absolutely. That's a convincing answer. Dr. Arora, we are living in difficult times. This is called survival mode. Markets have crashed, and I guess the pandemic has affected each and every sector. People don't
Yes,
have the money to invest in marketing. So, what is
right.
the future of marketing now?
Okay.
How does it entail? Where does it entail?
No, so there are a couple of facets to this problem. One,
Correct.
when we generically say that the markets are crashing all around, there are markets which are doing well during these times. If you look at the stock markets
Yes.
themselves, they're at all-time highs.
Yes. Mhm.
Okay, so that means the stock economy has completely disconnected from the general economy. Then, within marketing itself, online sales are doing extremely well, and
Correct.
your local grocer is the one who's probably been impacted, and the other components of this, meaning yours maybe the salons. I haven't been to a barber for 3 months. You see what is happening here.
Oh,
So
yes. I
those
mean,
kind of
that's
the the hospitality industry, the travel industry have taken a big hit. So there are parts of the economy which have taken a bigger hit. Whilst there are part of the healthcare sector is booming for you for that matter because
it
of
is, and
the
all the
stay.
essential services are booming as well.
So, therefore, you need to understand that one brush cannot paint everything in the same color. There are various components to the economy. Some are doing well, and incidentally, let me tell you, digital marketing is doing very well in these times. So,
Ah,
because print has taken a big hit, and people want to, uh, in a way, operate on curtailed budgets. It's a clear eye on the result, and digital gives them that flexibility. As much as you want to
correct.
spend, the measured results that you will get. So this is how this whole thing is laying out at this point in time.
So you feel that virtual classroom technology or social media marketing. Could you mention the statistics? Because during the pandemic, I guess the usage has gone up. It has escalated.
Yes,
So could you
yes.
please
So
elaborate on the statistics?
yeah. So I'll tell you what happened. The first phase of the first wave of Corona, where we have the numbers for print advertising in India, crashed by about 76%. 76%.
76%. That's
That's
a
why
big
you
leap.
saw lots of publications shutting down, a lot of editions shutting down, and also a lot of pink slips being given out by even the largest brands. Let's not name names. The biggest print
Yeah,
media
yeah,
brands.
yeah.
Every
Yes,
every everybody was hit and hit back. While this was happening, the time spent on all digital channels was increasing, including OTT channels. All right. So this whole
including, yes, yes.
Netflix, etc. That binge
Amazon
watching
Prime.
thing,
Yeah.
binge watching actually
Mm.
went through the roof, and also time spent on digital channels. For example, this program of yours, I don't think you would have
Yes.
done it had the pandemic not been there. So that could have been one of
Uh,
the sparks. So live shows, webinars, all these
correct,
things
correct.
started happening during this period. And the key issue to this is time spent online has increased. So I don't know if you have an iPhone. Other brands also now give you that screen time. Okay, so my
Yes,
screen
correct.
time has gone up close to 100%.
Yes,
Close to
yes, absolutely,
That gives
absolutely.
you the story. So the marketers are chasing eyeballs. All right. So if the eyeballs are on the screen, companies have to be there. They don't have a choice. So digital is
Very soon
growing.
the eyeballs will be on the floor, and ophthalmologists are making a roaring business, Dr. Arora.
I
Roaring.
I just hope that doesn't happen. I just do seriously meaning because as I said, something is keeping the economy going. Of
Correct.
course, it's been otherwise the real economy. If you tell me these things like restaurants, hotels, travel, cabs, they have
Yes.
taken a big hit. They have really taken a big hit,
Grossly
and
affected.
I don't see the travel industry improving in the next year or so. Also, maybe to reach what it was pre-pandemic, they say it will take 5 years.
And
That's
now
how
I
bad it
guess they're
is.
talking about the third wave already. So I think,
Yes,
people
yes.
are pretty apprehensive, pretty paranoid about
Correct,
the
correct, correct,
entire,
correct.
conundrum.
Absolutely, absolutely,
So,
absolutely. Because
so
no
Doctor,
one saw.
yeah.
Sorry, please carry on.
So, my question to you is, if someone wants to carve a niche for himself or herself in the field of social media marketing or digital marketing, what are the essentials? I want
Yeah.
your, I want an overview.
So when you say wants to carve out a niche, from what perspective are you speaking? Are you speaking from the perspective of a company wanting to promote its own products on digital, or an individual wanting to make a career on digital?
An individual
Which
wanting to make a career in digital marketing.
Okay, so there are various areas within digital. We, as I said, name it as one huge thing. But when we
Yes,
dive deeper into it, there are various areas. So you can start with what is called as proper websites, right? So one area of
correct.
digital is to have a decent website in place with Google Analytics installed behind it to know, to very simply without using jargon, where the traffic is coming from, how much traffic, and how much time it is spending on which page, etc. Right? So
Correct.
from there you move to how to increase traffic without spending money on my website. So that part is
Organic,
called,
organically.
yeah, that is called SEO, search engine
SEO,
optimization.
search engine
How
optimization.
so? How do I rank my website? Okay,
Mhm.
from there you come to blogging. So writing, or
Mm.
you're doing a video blogging for that, vlogging. But blogging used to
Right.
be big and it still is big. So then you come to blogging, because blogging also helps you in SEO as well as
Correct.
establishing your credibility. Then you come to promoting the website through search, so keyword search, etc. All right. Then you move to social, where you are, even blogging was content creation, where you are looking at creating content. So there are experts who create content. All right. From
Yes.
there you move to
Content
people
writers.
who how who understand how the algorithms of Facebook, Instagram, etc. work, and know to how to
Works.
work them with their content, and therefore able to push their content both organically as well as in a paid way. And then, so therefore, you're looking at finally those people who are able to handle the paid campaigns, which are very critical to get generating leads,
Yes.
etc. Okay, so
Correct.
because it's for the same amount of money, you could probably have, if you're not good at it, you will probably get 1/10 the leads. Whereas someone who's really good in performance marketing can take up the number of leads and the quality of leads also to
Oh,
10 times. Yeah. So there are various kinds of people who operate these niches. So you need to first know what is your strength. Where do you want to see yourself? You're good at, like, for you, I can tell you you're good at content creation. This whole thing that you're doing is part of content creation. This is content
content
which
creation.
people will
Yes.
people will bite into, because if this is not interesting, no one is going to watch it, and no eyeballs means no money. So content which people want,
Definitely.
content which
Correct.
people
Correct.
want. Yeah?
Yes.
So one area is that, within which also you need to know different kinds. So some people are good animators, animation, music, etc., etc. So there are different kinds of content, even written content for that matter. That is your
Correct.
blogs. Today, podcast is a big thing. Podcast is a very big thing.
Podcast. Do you listen to podcasts, Dr. Arora?
I
Do you
do a
listen to
lot of them.
podcasts yourself?
A lot
Okay.
of them. Yeah. Yeah.
And what kind of
So
podcasts interest you?
primarily on marketing subjects, and then
Yeah.
I'm someone who's on two ends of the spectrum. At one end, I'm into complete marketing, and the other end is complete spiritual, nothing in between. So you will not believe, I haven't watched a movie for the last, I don't know how many years. I have not read fiction for I don't know how many decades. So it's either uh, philosophical and spiritual stuff, or it's hardcore marketing. Nothing in between interests me.
Disparity. There is a wide
Yes,
disparity.
contradictions.
Oh my God. So that's a very interesting answer. So my next question will be, is marketing equivalent to dating a girl, or,
Uh,
girl dating a boy? Is it
yeah,
equivalent to that?
basically, if he weren't or she weren't good at marketing himself or herself, she would never
Mhm.
get the date. So, right, I would equate that first opening line to a tagline. Okay, if that is not
Correct.
strong enough, or the headline of an ad, if that is not
Mhm.
strong enough, you don't have her attention, you don't have her engagement. Without which, everything falls flat. So, you need to know who the target audience is, what really
Correct.
interests her, and then take the right approach, and that first line, the first impression, and then building on that. And gradually you reach a stage where you go out for coffee. And of course, we're not going to get deeper into that.
Absolutely. So the purpose is to catch the pulse of the audience, to have captivating
Yes,
stuff which would interest the masses. Yes,
right.
you're absolutely right. Yes. So it has to be attention grabbing and bang on and relevant as well, if I'm not mistaken. You have to be relevant.
Yes, because there's a very good quote that I heard somewhere in marketing, which is sell, you can't save souls in an empty church. You can't save souls in an empty church. So you may have the best church in the world, but if you can't
Correct.
get the people inside, how are you going to emancipate them? So the idea is
Oh,
to
yes.
ensure that there are more people in the church. For that, you need to be a good marketer. So as a
Right.
marketer, your first job, the primary job is to catch the attention. If you don't get that, no amount of whatever you do, step
Effort,
two
all
is
the,
going to
yes, yes.
is going to be wasted. It's going to be wasted.
All
The
the
first step is
indefatigable efforts will go down the drain.
yes,
Correct, correct.
yes, yes, exactly, exactly.
Yeah. So, Dr. Arora, is it true that Facebook is mostly meant for branding, and Insta is what is trending these days, and Twitter is more of a war zone? So, how do you segregate, these
Uh,
categories? Because
this
I
is
guess
this
there's
is
some kind of, yeah.
this is generic perception again, but it's not like that. So both
Okay.
Facebook and Instagram can be used for branding, are being used for branding, and can and are being
Okay.
used for selling. In fact,
Okay.
in fact, as far as sales go today, I'm sure Facebook has better sales numbers than Instagram, though. But the quality of
Okay.
audience in these two channels differ. So you
Yes.
will have
Yes. True.
probably a slightly younger profile on Instagram who's more concerned with, or so some categories it works very well is with
Yeah.
uh,
Influencers.
in
Yeah. Yeah.
cookery stuff, okay, food, with fashion. So these kind of things your Insta is doing very well with. Whereas
Correct.
uh, the other stuff where you have anything else, any other category for that matter, Facebook Pay you can do both branding as well as selling very well. So you have
All right.
you can actually sell directly from Facebook today without having an e-com site too. So that's how
Okay.
powerful it is getting. Yeah.
All right, all right. So this piece of information was, very important actually. Uh, Dr. Arora, we talk about three types of apples. One is Adam's apple. The second one is, Newton's apple, from where we get the theory of gravitational force. And the third one is Steve Jobs' apple. Now, that Apple logo, you were talking about iPhone sometime back. It
Yeah.
is solid. It is so prominent. The moment you spot that Apple, you can immediately make out, oh, this is Steve Jobs. This is, Apple MacBook. So how important is the logo, and what does it do to catch the pulse of the audience? Catch the pulse. How does it catch the
Uh,
pulse of the viewers?
okay. So uh, I may be, considered, it may be considered sacrilege with what I'm going to say. Let me tell you,
No.
uh, logo has always been given more importance than it deserves. Let's first get that right.
Okay. All
Apple
right.
is
All
what
right.
it is. Apple is what it is today because of the whole philosophy behind it, and therefore the kind of products they produce and the customer relationship they enjoy. A logo just identifies this whole thing. All right. So the logo of Apple, if you remember the history, was done in a great rush. In the sense, it was a sudden burst of something. In fact,
Yes.
The Nike logo was produced by an intern for some pennies. It was not even for $1 or something maybe. Yeah. Yeah. All
Oh,
right.
okay.
So
All
they
right.
didn't get it through a fancy advertising agency or a branding consultant with zillions of dollars behind it. It is finally the logo has to, it is just an identifier. So Sanjay is a name for someone who's speaking, talking to you, has a personality, does something, means something to some people, etc., etc. Now Sanjay is just that signifier which identifies that particular human being. Similarly,
Correct.
the logo's job is only to that. Of course, if you do a good creative logo which has some anchor, for example, if that apple had been complete, the level of memory, you know,
Mm.
hook it would have had, in terms of intensity would be far lower than that one bite that's taken out from one corner.
Correct, correct.
That is what dramatizes the whole logo and ensures memorability. Okay, that one small thing. But otherwise, if you look at it, it's one piece of black. Okay, because they have used colors and stuff also. So Apple, had it been called grapes, would also have been as popular, in my opinion. Right? We relate with the company because of that company's whole ideology, and that ideology is what springs out all the different products, the kind of experience centers they have, the geniuses they have that's sitting there, and the way we experience it. It's
All right.
just the identifier. So yes, logo is important. Doesn't mean that you do a bad one, but I can give you examples of tons of bad logos or companies which have had no logo also doing pretty well. So
Oh.
therefore, yeah. Brand wala okay.
All right.
We charge a bomb to companies to design logos, but this is the truth. If the philosophy, ideology, DNA of the company isn't good, the best logo will also not work. So,
Not work. Yes, absolutely. So
yes,
content matters. It shouldn't be
yes,
all style, no content. Yeah, that's
yes,
what
yes.
that matters the most.
Most.
Dr. Arora, these days a lot of people go by customer reviews and blogs and ratings and whatnot, especially in digital, in social media. So
Right.
reviews and blogs can be quite subjective. So how do they play upon the psyche of the masses?
तो ऐसा है कि टिल वन पॉइंट इन टाइम आपके पास
Huh?
सिर्फ एक वन वे कम्युनिकेशन था, मन की बात.
जी.
एक इंसान बोल रहा है, बाकी को सुनना है, कोई प्रश्न नहीं पूछ सकता, कोई कुछ नहीं कर सकता. Right? Till one point, you had that situation. Hi, someone is saying hi. Okay.
Yes.
So what I'm saying is, where was I actually, there are some chats coming onto the screen which is distracting me a little, but don't worry.
Yeah.
Okay.
Correct.
So from there, when the company could always praise its own products, you have a situation where a lot of verified buyers are writing about their experience with the product, all right, their own experience, and nothing carries more credibility than a word of mouth. So this is in a way word of mouth. If you tell me, you know what, Sanjay, I bought that. I don't use any cosmetic soap. What else could you recommend to me? Give me a shot at it.
Book maybe. A book.
Yeah,
Book.
that's one. That's a fantastic book. I read it. I finished it last night. Read it. It's lovely. I'm sure the next day I'm going to pick it up. Nothing is
Okay, which
stronger
one
than
is
word of
this?
mouth. Any book that you
Okay.
recommend.
Okay.
So when I buy now, what happens is, before I buy a product, most of the people online, okay, they will read at least a couple of reviews and figure out how people have actually found the whole experience, and in terms of product experience, lasting, durability, whatever, ease of use, whatever they're looking for. And therefore, most products that are bought today online are bought only after a review has been done. In fact, when I buy from Amazon, if it's not a routine purchase which I'm doing again and again, if I'm buying even a small thing like a new cable for my iPhone, I look at a few reviews, ratings, etc.
Yes.
And if I find that some of them have been very critical, I'll definitely be hesitant to buy that.
Oh yes. So reviews do leave an indelible impact. And your decisions are based on what you've read. Oh, this movie is bad. This has got a bad rating, so I don't think I should watch it. It's that kind of a thing.
That's
now.
why. That's why I have a couple of very, very close friends in Bollywood, actually producers and directors. So they tell me the fate of a movie is decided on the first weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Yes.
Friday को release होती है. By Sunday, everything is done about that movie, whether that's going to do well or not.
It's slaughtered, butchered, or whatever.
बिल्कुल digital world है. The word gets around.
Correct.
Earlier, it used to take ages for that to happen.
Yes, you're absolutely right. And I read somewhere that popularity is like a double-edged sword. The celebrity,
yes, it is.
Probably on day one, Monday he'll be on a pedestal, and day two, he'll be trolled. So I think that's what social media is doing.
Look at Kangana Ranaut for the latest example.
Yes. True, you're absolutely right.
without going into the gory details.
Yes. So we were talking about, Facebook. We were talking about organic likes and paid likes. When do you think we should invest? When do you think an entrepreneur should invest in, paid likes? Because our viewers, I'm sure,
When
would
you're
like
saying,
to know. Yeah,
yeah, so when you're saying paid, don't emphasize on paid likes. So there is organic activity and there is paid activity. When
activity.
you do paid activities, most of us don't get into paid activity for likes. It's for the other things that we get into it. Okay, so
Hmm.
you've got a new brand and you come onto
Yes.
Facebook and you create a page. Now, unfortunately, now at this time that we are talking, the algorithms are completely skewed against organic reach. So less than about 0.5% of your followers will see your content organically. So therefore, I
Okay.
always, tell my clients or maybe friends or whoever is getting into it कि यार अगर थोड़ा सा खर्चा करने के लिए पैसा नहीं है तो don't even bother to spend money on doing designs and making a post every day and putting it up. Save that time and money
Absolutely.
also. Save that time and money
Absolutely.
because you're not going to
Absolutely.
get anywhere at all with that. Either you're extremely innovative and do something which is so different and that catches the fancy of someone and it kind of breaks the clutter and gets a little viral. Okay, then you are lucky and you can't. And that cannot happen with anyone every time. All right. So
Yes.
you have to look at it as a long term game. So if you've started a business, if you are an entrepreneur, you need to have some monies to be able to promote your brand, right? So
Yes.
you may not actually spend money on getting likes because most of the time the paid likes are bots. Most of the time they are not real people, they are fake likes
Mm-hmm.
most of the time.
Correct.
But then to get a decent number on the page, often enough you do that. The first thing that you do when you create any commercial asset on the on digital media is send it out to all your close friends and relatives, people who would listen to you and probably like the page. With that you have a decent number there, maybe 200 500 इतना इतना कनेक्ट सबका होता है कि 100 200 पहले मिल जाते हैं. उसके बाद
Bilkul.
create some quality content which solves a problem for someone. And then once you've
Hmm.
created that, don't expect people to come there because पेज का मैं जैसे बता रहा हूँ एल्गोरिथम इतना पुअर है आपके अगेंस्ट है कि वो दूसरे के न्यूज फीड में जाता ही नहीं है. सो देयरफॉर अच्छा
Bilkul.
कंटेंट भी नहीं जाएगा. सो फर्स्ट send links to people. Don't spam their timelines because then they'll say यार ये तो रोज ही भेज देती है. Once in a while something good,
Correct.
something helpful. And when you know some content is good, then you spend maybe 500, 800,000 rupees behind that content to push
Correct.
that content to the right target audience. So now, when
Hmm.
you just boost a post, you are telling Facebook किसी को भी दिखा दे. All right. So
Hmm.
therefore, वैसे 5-10% आपकी target audience होंगी, बाकी आपका waste हो जाएगा. So you
Hmm.
can boost a post to a specific kind of target audience. If you know who you're wanting to
Absolutely.
reach, who your potential customer or the customer's influencer is, then you go inside that boost post ka function where they tell you to select the audience. So you
Yes.
select demographics, psychographics, put the age group, put the location. So if my product is only available in Nagpur and I just boost post, it will go to anywhere in the country, anywhere in the world, all right? And it's going to be a lot of waste
Absolutely.
of money. But when I say boost only in Nagpur, in fact, they give you even smaller radius today. Okay, you can boost it to a 1 kilometer radius of some areas also.
Yes. Location.
Hyper
Yeah. Location.
localization. So
Local.
you can decide where you want to do it. Males है कि females किसको boost करना है, क्या age group है, क्या family size है, young mother है कि नहीं है. तो so many different criteria. All right, their lifestyle के ऊपर based, कार है तो कौन सी है and all that. Phone है तो कौन सा
Yeah.
iPhone है क्या है. So now the better you know your audience and the better you are able to select the audience and then put that hard earned 1000 rupees behind that post, the better it is. The better it is. That
Correct.
is where you're going to get value for your money. Otherwise, just
Absolutely.
doing something without knowing what is going to happen is going to be a lot of waste of money.
Waste of money. Yeah. Sheer waste of resources, time, money,
Yeah.
energy, everything. Yes, you're absolutely right. Dr. Arora, lots of times, advertising hammers into the head. Like while watching a match, there will be too many ads. while watching Filmfare Awards, there'll be too many ads. So how many times does a marketer want to, hammer the ad into the customer's brain? How often does it happen?
It's like this. If
इतनी
I could
बार
afford
क्यों?
to do, if I could afford to do it, I would have you wearing blinkers with only my name showing. You see only me and nothing else in the world. All right. So, देखो, इसमें understand the reason behind it is if you're getting to
Yes.
watch the match free of cost, it is
Uh-huh.
because of advertising. If you're getting to
Uh,
use so many different platforms today without paying to use
yes.
Facebook, without paying to use Instagram, without paying to use Twitter, someone is
Mhm.
paying for it, all right, to be able
Yes.
to pay
Yes.
all the salaries, to take care of all the hardware, networking, and the works behind it, all right. A
Yes.
humongous
Yes.
cost to it, right? So
Mhm.
someone's got to pay for it, and here it was the same case with even newspaper. So a typical newspaper would cost something like 20 rupees to print, all right, which you get
20
at your
rupees.
place, yes,
Mhm.
all included, which you get at your place for about $2 or $3. That means someone is paying those
Yes.
$17. All right, out of the ₹2 that you pay, 50% goes to the distribution channel, to distributors, hawkers, etc. So what the
All
newspaper
right.
owner gets is only 1 rupee, maybe, or a rupee and 25 paisa. All right,
Which is peanuts.
exactly. So he's not relying on circulation revenue. What he's actually
Okay.
relying on, the more the circulation, more the eyeballs, more the advertising revenue. So
Correct.
you, in
Okay.
a way, the advertiser is ensuring you get your newspaper at $3 or $2. Otherwise, you have to pay 25 rupees for a newspaper every morning. And you know our country. जब ₹2 से अखबार ₹5 का होता है तो सर्कुलेशन आधे से कम हो जाता है.
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल सही
All
कहा
right,
आपने
that
बिल्कुल
is
सही
one.
कहा
That is one.
Yes.
And two is in advertising we have a funda called TOMA. थोड़ा jargon use करता हूँ, लोगों को लगना भी चाहिए ना मैं पढ़ा लिखा
नहीं नहीं
इंसान
नहीं
है थोड़ा.
चलेगा चलेगा
हाँ. So what it actually means is top of mind awareness. All right. So we measure any brand's strength in one of the criteria is to look at if I say soaps, what kind of brands are you able to recollect right away? So normally in a evoked set
हम्म
जो आपके immediate बिना मेरे आपको hint दिए aid किए जो 3-4 ब्रांड्स ही आएंगे. ओके, उसमें से एक वो
बिल्कुल
होगा जो आप
बिल्कुल
यूज कर रहे हो, एक दो और होंगे. तो ये 3-4
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल
ब्रांड्स जो है ये आपका टॉप ऑफ द माइंड अवेयरनेस लेके बैठा हुआ है. ये आपका इवोक्ड सेट है. एज अ ब्रांड माई ओनली जॉब इज टू फर्स्ट कम इनटू दीज 3 or 4 ब्रांड्स जो पहले आपके जहन में आते हैं. बिकॉज इफ आई एम
हम्म
देयर चांसेस ऑफ मी गेटिंग बॉट द नेक्स्ट टाइम अराउंड आर ग्रेट. सो ये
ओके
ऐसे कुछ फंडामेंटल्स होते हैं हमारी एडवर्टाइजिंग में. दूसरा फंडामेंटल होता है शेयर ऑफ वॉइस कि एक सेगमेंट में सपोज सोप्स के सेगमेंट में लक्स अगर एक्स डेसिबल लेवल की बात कर रहा है तो मैं या तो x-1 या कुछ थोड़ा सा हूँ या x+1 हूँ. अगर मैं x/5 हूँ तो मैं नजर भी नहीं आने वाला. तो जो लीडर
हाँ
है उसकी वॉइस के कंपैरिजन में मेरी वॉइस कितनी है तो उसका एडवर्टाइजिंग स्पेंड, एडवर्टाइजिंग प्रेशर कितना है, विज़ मेरा कितना है. तो एवरीवन इज लुकिंग एट
बिल्कुल
हाउ मच द लीडर इज स्पेंडिंग एंड द लीडर इज अ लीडर बिकॉज टिपिकली इट स्पेंड्स द हाईएस्ट. टिपिकली
he spends the highest yes
यस.
yeah
सो ये
correct you're
कंपटीशन चलती
absolutely
रहती
right
है. इसलिए इसलिए आपको बार बार हमको वो ऐड दिखाना होता है क्योंकि नहीं दिखाया तो आप भूल जाएंगे.
बिल्कुल सही कहा आपने सो आपको
हाँ.
एक्चुअली मतलब छाप छोड़नी है द इम्प्रेशन हैज टू
और
बी
जितनी जितनी डीप ये छाप जाएगी उतना लाभ है मेरे लिए. इट हैज टू बी एज डीप एज पॉसिबल.
Absolutely. और इसीलिए I guess brand A great celebrity या brand ambassador. I think brand ambassadors also play a significant role. आज हम बच्चन जी कोई brand endorse करते हैं, शाहरुख करते हैं, obviously वो A great celebrity की भी brand value होती है और वो हिसाब से I don't need to say that the customers are very well aware that they are not using those products themselves. They are just
True, 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 true.
endorsing the brand. They are just
Right.
endorsing the brand. But then the customers, the emotional customers do get influenced by the brand ambassadors. So how does it
देखो,
work, Dr. Arora?
yeah. So ideal situations में we are एक चीज very clear, we are overdoing this whole thing about brand ambassadors. Number one,
Mm-hmm.
there are reasons to it.
Okay.
In an ideal situation, the brand personality or the personality of the brand endorser. So, for example, if it's a Rahul Dravid,
Okay.
so he has a certain personality. He's quiet,
Very
introvert,
quiet and
very calm,
yeah.
very calm, solid, all that. So ये उसकी brand personality है. So if your brand, ये उसकी personality, I'm sorry, okay, human being. Now if you want the same to be transferred to your brand as a solid, calm, wall-like brand, always with you, you can rely on. That kind of probably a cement, that would make an
Mm-hmm.
ideal match of the two. So the
Correct.
brand's, the human personality translates and transfers very well to the brand's personality. But what is happening is, what we are doing currently is, anyone who is famous, celebrity, उसको लेके अपना प्रोडक्ट पकड़ा दिया. और ऑफन इनफ
Ah.
अगर आप एक प्रोडक्ट को दूसरे प्रोडक्ट से रिप्लेस कर दो, उसी उसी ब्रांड एम्बेसडर के साथ, अमिताभ बच्चन के सामने से आप एक तेल निकाल के, जहाँ वो तेल रखा था, आप कोई स्कूटर रख दो, वो स्कूटर निकाल के आप कोई नमक का पैकेट रख दो, इट वोंट मेक अ डिफरेंस एट ऑल, बिकॉज
Yeah,
देयर
yeah,
इज नो
yeah. True.
इंटर रिलेशन बिटवीन दैट. बट व्हाई इज द कंपनी डूइंग इट? बिकॉज द कंपनी रियलाइजेस कि मैं यहाँ पे से 3 करोड़ रुपया खर्चा करूंगा इस ब्रांड को, इस शख्स को ब्रांड एम्बेसडर बनाने के लिए. So my advertising cost in terms of media buy will fall by 10 crores or 20 crores, because ये जो visibility दे देगा, so it's just to break through the clutter and nothing more.
Okay. Okay. Nothing more.
हजार तेल के एड्स और आ रहे हैं, जस्ट बिकॉज मैंने अमिताभ बच्चन को ले लिया, तो डिस्ट्रीब्यूटर को मेरा ऐड रहेगा, डीलर को याद रहेगा, और कंज्यूमर को भी कुछ हद तक याद रहेगा. सो टू ब्रेक थ्रू द क्लटर, अदरवाइज वो सादा तेल का ऐड अगर बनाता तो 3 करोड़ रुपए अमिताभ को नहीं देता, लेकिन 10 करोड़ रुपए ज्यादा खर्चा करता तो भी उतनी विजिबिलिटी उसको नहीं देता. He would probably have,
बिल्कुल.
because creatively we are lazy. We don't work so much in terms of creative कि वो on the strength of sheer creative it could have stood out. We don't do that.
Correct. Right, right.
That takes a
That's
lot
a
of guts.
bang on answer. That's a bang on answer. मैं एक और सवाल आपसे करना चाहूंगी, because today you're under a microscope, Dr. Arora. Everyone, there's so many viewers are watching us.
I know.
So my next question is, if the product falls into any kind of controversy, should the marketing manager and the brand ambassador be blamed for it? Why are they trolled unnecessarily? Or, they should be trolled rather, मुझे
No.
कुछ conundrum. It's a conundrum. We need to understand the whole thing.
This is a rather subjective question. I'll answer it
Okay.
from
Yes, it is.
Slightly politically sensitive zone में भी जाएगा थोड़ा सा वो, but I believe थोड़ा सा controversy होगा.
फिर मत डालिए. मत डालिए.
नहीं, ऐसा है कि हमारे यहाँ कंट्रोवर्सीज कई कारण से खड़ी हो जाती है. तो टाइटन का जो एड एक बार रिलीज हुआ था अभी 3-4 महीने पहले की बात है, which was trying to get communities together and suddenly they got trolled. Okay, that was a very good attempt at something. Okay,
yeah.
Unfortunately, there are troll armies today who have to just do that to get visibility for their own whatever. All right, so that's one part of it. So यहाँ पे ना marketer की बेचारे की गलती है और ना brand ambassador की गलती है, because they were trying to do something positive, but there are people who would do that and create negative out of it to ensure they get more visibility.
So this is like a rat race,
yes,
cutthroat competition out there. And I guess these Fitbit watches have completely replaced the traditional watch. Or some people who have this habit of collecting vintage things are collecting watches, but otherwise the youngsters are more into fitness and Fitbit watches. So when a new product is launched, when new technology is launched, the old one takes the back seat, unfortunately. So how does one retain the antiquity?
So देखिए, ऐसा है, इसमें दो चीजें हैं. एक, change is the only constant.
Okay.
Change is the only constant. So you will have electric cars coming and a Tesla coming, which will be valued today more than the entire American car industry put together.
Yes.
Okay. All right. And there are many such examples. So someone has to be an innovator, someone has to break through, and of course, not everything old is good. Let's be very clear about that aspect also. Okay.
True.
We would have still be using Nokia phones. All right. Someone had to break through.
There was no innovation.
So innovation is a part of life. So yes, that is number one. Number two, when you were saying watches, today you didn't name it, Fitbit कुछ भी नहीं है. The Apple Watch sells more than the entire Swiss watch industry put together. Let's let that sink in.
Yes.
पूरी Swiss industry के सारे brands, including your Rolexes and the Omegas and what have you.
All the upscale international brands.
Yes, सारे put together don't match the sale of the Apple Watch.
Okay.
Right? So that's one thing. But then there are classic things which they have handled the brand so well. कि वो आज भी बिक रहे हैं. फॉर एग्जाम्पल रॉयल एनफील्ड इंडिया में, हार्ले
Mm.
डेविडसन in the US. Okay, so they've
Yes, yes.
created value for that classical brand, and
Oh, yes.
they have also improved technology accordingly. ऐसा नहीं है कि आज जैसे
Uh,
मैं पहले जो रॉयल एनफील्ड चलाया हूँ, जिसपे आप किक मारने की कोशिश करो तो आप ही सैटेलाइट के समान लॉन्च हो जाए, इतना जोर से बैक मारती थी एक टाइम पे. ठीक है, और भी
बिल्कुल.
बहुत समस्याएं थी. कई बार ऐसा लगता था हाथ से नीचे करके जोर से गियर चेंज करना पड़ता है. So they have changed
जी.
technology, but
Yes.
retained that look and feel and everything else about it, which is very classy and old. So those kind of
बिल्कुल.
brands have done well. Then there are some luxury brands. Luxury में unfortunately, अब दो contradict कर रहा हूँ मैं अपने आप को, Rolex is a luxury brand all said and done, and it's doing reasonably well. So
Hmm.
its sales are, I believe, constant or increasing. So उसमें उसको इतना फर्क नहीं पड़ा जितने बाकी लोगों को पड़ा. So either
जी.
you are there. तो लग्जरी ब्रांड में आप देखिए वहाँ पे वो ब्रांड के लिए आदमी खरीद रहा है. देयर इज नो रीजन यू आर बाइंग अ पेयर ऑफ शूज, यू नो, फ्रॉम अ जिमी शू फॉर 70 grand or 80 grand or even a lakh of rupees, or the handbag that you are carrying for a lakh of rupees. So there, the whole idea is to create a brand which in itself is a statement about who you are and how you've made it.
Your identity, basically. Yes.
Yes, it becomes a
Yes.
part of, it establishes your identity. So you
It
carry this
establishes your identity.
Mont Blanc pen here. What is that dumb, thick, black, ugly looking pen? All right.
Yes. Are you there? Are you there? We were talking to Dr. Arora. We just, okay, lots of viewers have joined us. Cheryl Pearl, hi. I hope you're doing good, everyone. Just hope you're doing good. So we were talking about upscale brands. We were talking about logos. We were talking about social media marketing, and we were talking about consumer orientation and consumer satisfaction, and the entire digital marketing conundrum, the entire social media marketing is a very significant topic, especially at the time of the pandemic. Because during the pandemic, as we all know, the markets have crashed and it has affected every sector, and we need to pay attention to our businesses. A lot of a lot of shops have shut. It has hit everyone in a most of the people in a massive way. But yes, the pharmaceutical industry is doing well, as Dr. Arora mentioned. The hospitals, doctors, yeah, some businesses are doing well, and some have suffered miserably. And therefore, we need to discuss things like, direct marketing and indirect marketing. We need to see how to carve a niche, and how to exist, how to catch the pulse of the audience, how to catch the pulse of our viewers. It is very important. Dr. Arora, we just lost you briefly, so I
Yeah,
just got
I
talking. Yeah.
believe I believe your energy came into the circuits here and we lost power here. Some short circuit.
All right, no
So
problem.
so
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 I was
our
just
wirings
talking to.
couldn't our wirings couldn't handle you.
Oh my God. Okay, so that reminds me, Dr. Arun, a lot of women are objectified in the advertisements. Now, this is what, the feminists are likely to say. What is the woman doing in a shaving cream ad? Or why do you need a woman to endorse a cold drink? So, why do we use females? Do females, grab the, catch the pulse of the, masses? What is the psychology behind, this objectification? And this is feminism. How would you answer a feminist if she raises this question?
Okay, it's a tough one. Very honestly, we used to, yes, that is true, and let's not run away from the problem. Before this whole feminism movement came along, women were objectified in advertising. There is no doubt. In fact, they were objectified everywhere. It's not just advertising.
Yes.
Advertising is just a mirror to what's happening in the society. We pick up our cues from what is happening around us and then convert that into communication. So it was happening
Correct.
in films. It was happening everywhere. So it's not just that advertising only did that, yes, it was a culprit. But in certain cases, I do believe that it becomes important because if, for example, if I want to say that a guy, okay, wants to look handsome to attract women, okay, that's the
Okay.
proposition. So what do I do?
Mm-hmm.
What do I do? I will create an ad campaign which was like the earlier one, Axe. Remember Axe?
Uh-huh. Yes, yes,
So
Deo.
so,
It's like,
yeah, the dude. Yeah. So all women start following him, etc., etc. And if a shaving cream is being used, which ultimately makes you feel good and look good and confident, and therefore why?
uh,
Therefore why? Because you want to attract the right kind of women. So the women have to
uh.
step into this whole conversation. Uh,
So
we
that's
of
a
course
compliment
over
to women in that case. That's a
obviously
compliment
yes.
to women.
I believe the only Jan, I actually hold myself here because we are live. So most guy
Ah,
the idea is most guys, if they're wanting to look good or feel good or smarter, etc., ultimately, if you go to nature also, it's always the male who's fighting for the female. The female stands by the
oh
side,
yes,
look at the,
chivalrous. Yeah.
no, not chivalry, it's two male
Ah.
fighting and one has to die for the other to claim that woman, or the
Yes.
feminine of the species. All right. So throughout the evolutionary process, this has been the truth. Men have fought over women. All right.
Correct.
So
Correct.
we now
What
fight
a
for their
great
attention.
answer. I believe you have an unfailing sense of wit and an irrepressible sense of humor, which is the best part
Hardly.
of this conversation.
That's the truth. If you look at peacocks, peacocks have the hens don't have that behind them. All
Yeah,
right,
yeah,
those
yeah, yeah,
display.
yeah.
All right, it's the
Yes, yes.
peacocks who have that because I have to have it to attract you.
Yes, yes,
So the whole
absolutely. So
idea
that's a
starts from there.
compliment to a woman. That's a compliment to a woman.
101%.
You would not
But
say
then
that she's
we
objectified. Yeah.
we surely went overboard. We surely went overboard and did a lot of
Okay.
stuff which shouldn't have been done. So, which of course, things change with times, and we're improving. Okay, now try and do something which happened 10 years ago, and the women's group will be at your throat, and rightly so, and rightly so.
But Dr. Arora, a lot of ads are misleading. I will not
Mhm.
name them because this is like
Yeah, yeah,
violating the
I
norms.
get your
So I
point.
will not name anyone. But then a lot of ads are misleading. So do they hoodwink masses? Are they
Yes,
likely?
yes, they do.
Yeah, they just try
Yes, they
to
do. Yeah,
go
yeah,
overboard.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's like every other profession. You have the good, bad, and the ugly. And
Yes,
in
yes.
any profession, any profession, those who really excel and stand by the ethics, etc., are a very small percentage compared to those who are moderate, just about there. And then a chunk of them who are downright cunning, cheating, etc., etc. All right.
Okay.
So same thing goes for advertising, and therefore
Okay.
you have a body like Advertising Standards Council of India. So if you find an ad misleading, you can always write a complaint to them, and they really take action. So they would write to the advertiser and the publication where the ad appeared, asking for, if you made a claim कि ये लगाने से बाल काले होते हैं, तो आप बताओ ये
Correct.
कैसे, where is it proven? You made a claim, okay? If you are unable to prove it, they will ask you to withdraw the ad. So that happens, and lots of ads
But
have been
again,
withdrawn.
it is so subjective. Supposing I say आपकी त्वचा से आपकी उम्र का पता ही नहीं चलता. So it is like, oh my God, the woman
तो
will
वो
be
तो ठीक
like,
है ना,
really, really,
वो तो
wow,
ठीक है,
इतने
वो तो मैं आपको भी बोल सकता हूँ, वो तो मैं आपको बोल ही रहा हूँ. तो उसमें there is no harm in that. But when I'm making a database claim, something which is downright a lie, that is where the problem is.
That is where the
Subjectivity is
problem
not a
comes.
lie. Okay,
Yes, yes. That's creativity.
दिल लगा गधी से तो परी क्या चीज है? मेरी नजरों में वो परी है.
क्या
Subjectivity is not a
बात है,
problem
दिल
here.
लगा गधी से तो परी क्या चीज है.
बिल्कुल.
Amazing.
तो just imagine this, that जहाँ पे सब्जेक्टिविटी है वहाँ प्रॉब्लम नहीं है. जहाँ डाउनराइट फैक्ट गलत पेश किया गया या गलत फैक्ट से गलत कंक्लूजन निकाला गया या आउटराइट
जी,
झूठ बोला गया, that is a
जी.
problem. That is a
So
problem which should, and
that's
all
when
of
you
us,
can
or your audience should know. They should jot it down.
yes,
It is ASCI, Advertising Standards Council of India. You can
correct.
pick the copy of the ad and mail it to them, scan it or whatever, and they will 100% respond and take action. And this
Okay,
should be done.
all right.
Because the
So
more
we
we do
should
it,
be
the more we
aware
do.
of our rights.
Yes,
Yes.
yes. The more we do it, the more advertising industry will improve.
Right. The next question that I'm going to ask is hysterically funny, actually. Now you decide whether
Uh-huh.
it's funny or not. So the thing is, most of the times, there is this attraction with the thought of getting something free. Like, I'll get the shampoo sachet free with,
Uh-huh.
some Sapola oats or something, whatever.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
there was this lady I saw spotted her at the grocery store.
Uh-huh. Lost you. Hello.
All right.
I lost you in between, so I didn't get the question. I'm sorry.
Okay. So, am I
Yeah,
audible now?
very
Okay.
well.
Yes.
In
All
fact,
right.
in fact, I lost you completely. No, you weren't visible.
Okay, okay. So, my question to you is, this lady, asked for something like, ये इसके साथ कोलेस्ट्रॉल फ्री है, तो ये मुझे कोलेस्ट्रॉल, चाहिए. तो मैंने उनको समझाने की कोशिश की, मैडम, ये तेल कोलेस्ट्रॉल फ्री है, आपको हार्ट प्रॉब्लम नहीं होगी. She said, नहीं, इसके साथ मुझे कुछ फ्री मिलना चाहिए था, जैसे मुझे शैम्पू मिलता था और कुछ इसके साथ कोलेस्ट्रॉल फ्री है. This was like talking to
So,
her was like beating, my head against a stone wall.
yeah,
But there
yeah.
are a lot of
So,
customers who don't
उनसे यही
understand.
कहना चाहिए था आपने कि अनफॉर्चुनेटली किसी भी प्रोडक्ट के साथ बुद्धि फ्री नहीं आती.
बिल्कुल सही कहा आपने, बिल्कुल सही कहा. अच्छा, तो आपके साथ में काफी फनी इंसिडेंट्स जुड़े होंगे, बिकॉज यू आर इन दिस फील्ड, वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग फील्ड, मार्केटिंग एंड एडवर्टाइजिंग. तो एक ऐसा किस्सा बताइए जिसमें मतलब आपको ऐसा लगा बड़ा दिलचस्प किस्सा है भाई, और ये शेयर किया जाए अपने व्यूअर्स के साथ में.
मैं किस्सा तो खैर नहीं बोलूँगा उसे, पर जो एक बहुत बड़ा फ्रस्ट्रेशन हम एडवर्टाइजिंग वालों का होता है, वो आपको बताता हूँ कि यू वर्क
जी.
रियली हार्ड एंड यू एक्चुअली कम अप विद समथिंग वेरी गुड, एंड देन
Yes.
द क्लाइंट says, हाँ ठीक लग रहा है, leave it with me, I'll come back to you tomorrow. And this is a fact which happened with a अच्छी खासी कंपनी, बड़ी कंपनी के साइज के CEO के
Mm-hmm.
साथ. And then the next day he comes to me, you know what, I showed it to my wife, उसको पसंद नहीं आया, and you will have to rewrite
Oh.
this. Now the wife is not even the target audience जिसके लिए create हो रहा है communication. There is nothing to do with wife क्यों अच्छा लगा क्यों नहीं लगा, वो हमारे सामने भी नहीं है कि हम उसको explain कर पाएं क्या है.
बिल्कुल.
So the profession that we come from, unfortunately, is where everyone has an opinion and believes उसका opinion सही है. आप एक डॉक्टर को जाके ये नहीं बोलोगे कि मेरे को म्यूकोसाइटिस ये हो गया है और मेरे को ये ऑपरेशन करना है, यहाँ से आप ऐसा मुझे कट देंगे, वहाँ से ऐसे अप्रोच करेंगे और ये ऐसे करके रिमूव करके ठीक कर देंगे. डॉक्टर कहेगा कि आपको इतना ही आता है तो अपने किचन में कर लीजिए आप, ठीक है. So
बिल्कुल
you go to a
बराबर.
doctor and you tell the doctor a problem, like this is what is the
Yeah,
issue and
yeah, yeah.
we have a solution for this. But in our profession, not only the client, the client's wife, even the client's dog has an opinion about what we do.
True.
So
Absolutely. So it
that's
gets
that's the
quite,
saddest part.
cumbersome. It's a cumbersome exercise to
Or
convince, your clients, and especially intellectual bankruptcy, or
बिल्कुल.
it's very difficult to
और
deal
एक
with.
जो स्टेटमेंट सबसे ज्यादा हम सुनते हैं हमारे प्रोफेशन में, मजा
जी.
नहीं आया, मजा नहीं आया, मजा नहीं आ रहा.
मजा
तो
नहीं
मजा
आया.
कहाँ से आएगा? मजा आने के लिए थोड़ी बनाया गया था. मजे के लिए दूसरी चीजें वो ले लो.
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल मजा
मजा
नहीं
नहीं आ
आया.
रहा. No, how do you define मजा नहीं आ रहा? You tell me something कि okay, this headline is not working, or this word here doesn't make sense to me, or this visual, or the combination, or the layout. Something that tells me कि how do I improve it? ये मजा नहीं आ रहा है क्या होता है? मतलब
Yes,
this is
you're
the most
absolutely right.
frequently. Yeah. So ऐसे कुछ
And it
frustrating
is.
चीजें हमारे प्रोफेशन के साथ जुड़ी हुई हैं.
जी बिल्कुल. And in fact, आजकल complaints भी, there some customers can be assertive and some can be aggressive also. So it's very difficult to actually satisfy everyone. It is very difficult to,
That's true. That's very true.
you can't make everyone happy.
That's true. That's true. That's one. But ये point ये है कि rather than creating a public spat जो कि digital world में हो गया है, anyone can go to Twitter and start criticizing any company.
Yes,
It's
yes, yes.
better.
That's what. It's become easy
It's
now.
better. Yeah. So it's always better to avoid a public spat and एक नया product देने शायद 2-3 हज़ार 5,000 1,000 200 cost करेगा, but at least it satisfy that person and he'll write a compliment for you and you move forward. you've kind of avoided a huge bad scene. But this, of course, can't happen in case of cars and expensive products. So you need
बिल्कुल,
to have
yes.
alternate means to handle that. But yes,
True, true.
it's made the whole thing a little bitter and ugly also.
Yes, yes, absolutely. Dr. Arora, we talked about, Facebook, Insta, Twitter, ये तो हमने बात कर लिया. अब हम आते हैं YouTube पे. So there are a lot of
Mhm.
YouTubers who are, earning money out of the channel. So how does
Mhm.
that work and how does that happen? And how many subscribers do you actually need in order to, earn through those ads or whatever? How does the entire thing work?
Okay, so it's not just on YouTube that people are making money. People are making money on all channels. So it's one thing is
Okay,
clear. कि
all right,
वो
all right.
इंस्टा पे भी पैसे बना रहे हैं बनाने वाले,
अच्छा.
फेसबुक पे भी बना रहे हैं. तो या सो अब यूट्यूब क्या है स्पेसिफिकली? इट्स लाइक योर पर्सनल टेलीविजन चैनल, राइट? यू क्रिएट योर,
Personal television channel, correct.
तो आप हर एक को चैनल बनाना अलाउड है. कितनी भी चैनल आप बना सकते हो. तो अगर फॉर
Hmm.
एग्जांपल मैं योगा सिखाता हूँ सुबह फ्री, तो मैं एक योगा का
Hmm.
चैनल बना सकता हूँ. मैं मार्केटिंग के ऊपर बात करता हूँ, उसका चैनल बना सकता हूँ. मैं अगर कुछ मोटिवेशनल काम करता हूँ, उसका अलग चैनल बना सकता हूँ. सो द आइडिया इज each of us can make as many channels as we want. Now, what is YouTube or any social media platform wanting, or any media platform, digital media platform wanting? There is a huge competition again for eyeballs. कि मेरे चैनल का स्टिकीनेस कितना है,
Hmm.
कितनी देर लोग यूट्यूब पे रहते हैं, कितनी देर लोग
Hmm.
फेसबुक पे रहते हैं, कितनी देर लोग ट्विटर पे रहते हैं, इंस्टा पे रहते हैं. जितनी देर मैं ज़्यादा रोक पाऊंगा, उतना मुझे मोनेटाइज करने के लिए हेल्प करेगा चैनल. सो एक तो
जी.
क्लियर है कि जब मेरा प्रोग्राम, अगर उस पर व्यूज़ ज़्यादा आते हैं, नंबर ऑफ व्यूज़ ज़्यादा आते हैं, और वो व्यूज़ होल्ड करते हैं, तो एक तो हो गया कि if my program is say 10 minutes and people
Hmm.
come and leave in 3 minutes, that means 30% retention hai mera. So that is rather low. If they cross 50% and are on the channel for 50, and then from my channel they go to another YouTube pay video, then I am considered to be a good person on for YouTube.
Good.
Yeah,
Okay.
because I have
All
managed to retain. So if I am sending them to some other place, meaning अगर मेरा कोई लैंडिंग पेज वेबसाइट पे अलग है और वहाँ मैं अपना लिंक डालता हूँ यूट्यूब में वीडियो में, और वो क्लिक करके it goes to the person goes to my website, then
Hmm.
I am not good according to YouTube because I am sending people away from YouTube. So ये सब
Ah,
चीजें जब
correct.
आपको समझ में आती है, then you start working with the algorithm of the channel, and when you start getting substantial number of views with
Correct.
stickiness and retainership, then what happens is all the advertising that gets shown during whatever period that I am on, the person is on my channel, I get a percentage of that through Google
Oh,
AdWords का जो channel है उसमें. ठीक
gee.
है,
All
ये
right. So
एक हो
that's
गया.
how it works. Huh.
That's one. Two is,
Hmm.
of course, I could be monetizing my own channel by becoming an influencer and selling products there. Meaning,
Hmm.
अगर मैं कुकरी चैनल चला रहा हूँ, तो एक, और मेरे पास सब्सटैंशियल व्यूज रहते हैं, तो एक
Hmm.
एडिबल ऑयल वाली कंपनी बोलेगी ठीक है, I will pay you so much, so you use my oil or use it as a part of the whole sequence, etc., and start promoting my this thing. वैसे कोई
Correct.
एक चिमनी वाला बोलेगा, have my chimney with the brand there, all right? So this way what happens is, when I have substantial number of views, I get companies that approach me who would want to be associated with that program. So there are therefore various, or someone really becoming big, YouTube allots him a separate kind of a channel where they can actually charge.
All right. Okay.
Yeah. So there are
Uh,
various monetization ways that you have on all channels, all channels. But the
all
whole
channels.
idea is to be able to get viewers, hold those viewers. उसके बिना ये चीज नहीं होती.
उसके बिना ये चीज नहीं हो सकती. डॉक्टर अरोड़ा, एक जमाना ऐसा था जब सेलिब्रिटीज काफी दूर हुआ करते थे. They were not accessible to the fans as such, especially at the
Right.
time of print media. But with social media marketing, I think that gap has been bridged. Now the celebrities directly talk to the fans, and the fans can easily
Absolutely.
troll the, celebrities. So do you think, this has, disturbed or, probably destroyed the relationship between celebrities and fans? आपका क्या observation है इस बारे में?
I just think that it has made everything more accessible, and also,
Accessible,
you know,
yeah.
and also more transparent, and
Okay.
kind of again taking us to that whole thing from a one-way communication to a dialogue ultimately. So if
Yes, correct.
you can speak, imagine you can speak to and get an answer from anyone in the world if you're making sense to them.
Yes, and especially
So
on Twitter, especially on
yeah,
Twitter, most of the
Twitter, yeah,
celebrities are quite accessible. Yes, and they
yes,
do
yeah, very
reply
easily.
if the yes,
I
yes.
have had such wonderful experiences on Twitter where people who would otherwise, I would probably never even know how to get in touch with them. I reached
Huh.
out to them, they connected with me, and they came to Nagpur. And when they were in Nagpur, they gave me a slot to meet them just because I was in touch with them on Twitter.
Wow.
Imagine.
Wow.
No other
Yes.
relationship. So other people
Huh.
there, they're really VIPs. Other people were kept waiting outside where I was having coffee with that person inside her room. Just because ट्विटर पे हमारा इंटरेक्शन थोड़ा सा हो गया था और रेगुलर था थोड़ा सो
G,
दैट मेक्स
G.
इट सो मच only thing is that you have to make sense to that person also. You should come across as a sensible person who's offering some value और कहीं ना कहीं उसको भी तो वो इंटरेक्शन में कुछ मिल रहा है नहीं तो क्यों उससे
बिल्कुल
बात करें
बिल्कुल
आप सिर्फ
उसकी भी मार्केटिंग ही हो रही है एक तरह से
मार्केटिंग नहीं
you know,
इट्स नॉट ऑलवेज अबाउट मार्केटिंग प्रेस करने वाले तो उसके पूरे मतलब थ्रेड में प्रेस करने वाले ही हैं आपको प्रेस करने
हाँ,
से होगा ऐसा नहीं है
नहीं
कुछ
है
ऐसी चीज जो आपने बोली जो उसको कहीं छुई उसका जवाब उसने दिया फिर आपने कुछ ऐसा एक सेंसिबल इंटरेक्शन जो होता है
जी
वो
जी जी
अगर
बिल्कुल
हो जाए
एक
तो
कनेक्ट
देन
जो
यू
बन जाता है जी
हाँ
जी
तो एक तब बॉन्ड बनता है तो वो इतना आसान हो गया है अभी कि यू कैन राइट टू बाइडेन डायरेक्टली एंड इफ यू आर मेकिंग सेंस ही विल रिस्पॉन्ड टू यू एज सिंपल एज दैट
Okay.
ट्विटर का
Yes,
वो कमाल
yes.
है ट्विटर इज द ओनली चैनल दैट हैज दैट पावर रियल टाइम
Yes, it has that power. Yes, yes. There is no question about it. And Dr. Arora, so you must be on Facebook, you must be on Insta, you must be on Twitter. Which is
या
your favorite social media
ट्विटर
platform?
ट्विटर
Twitter. It's
बाय अ
Twitter.
लॉन्ग शॉट बाय अ लॉन्ग शॉट
Okay.
once upon a time I was very active on Facebook जब वो नया नया आया था so about
जी.
first 4-5
उसके
years I
पहले
was
औरकुट भी था. एक औरकुट भी
और
आया
कुछ
था
था
ना
हाँ
which
हाँ हाँ
yeah, yeah.
और कुछ पे
उसके बाद
भी हम थे उससे पहले और बाकी चीजें थी ICQ था and all that I don't know you would probably not have heard of them also
no, 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 I
so
haven't heard of it. Yeah.
so current मतलब पिछले 3-4 I am on Twitter for the past 10-11 years now जब नया आया था तभी से एंड अब तो मतलब दैट इज माय चैनल ऑफ चॉइस फॉर मेनी इयर्स नाउ बिकॉज लेटेस्ट
Okay.
जो ब्रेकिंग न्यूज़ है वही मिलती है इट मेक्स एवरीवन एक्सेसिबल interactions are real time fast quick and topical so and there is people of every niche available there so if you want to connect with people only for digital marketing there are amazing guys there and they go out of their way to add value to your whatever you are asking putting across the query etc so Twitter is amazing.
Twitter is amazing. Yes. So Twitter is where we can connect, we can talk, express, and we can also, if we are fortunate, we are likely to meet the celebrities in person.
Absolutely.
If they find value in your comment,
Absolutely.
if they feel some kind of connect, yes, it
Right,
does
right.
work. Yes. So, Dr. Arora, which is your favorite advertisement?
Oh, that's a tough one for
The
me.
personal response type of a question. Your favorite advertisement?
The last I really loved was on the Women's Day, जो पेटीएम
Uh-huh.
ने एक कैंपेन रन किया था for
Acha.
financial literacy of girls and women. Because हमेशा
Okay.
कोई financial decision, the whole campaign was about whenever you have to apply for a loan or decide which mutual fund to, even if you are slightly
Hmm.
elder, तो आप कोई आदमी से पूछते हो और आदमी वो
Ah,
डिसीजन लेता है
yes, yes.
आपके घर में भी
Ah.
म्यूचुअल फंड में आप इन्वेस्ट नहीं करते होगे your husband would be probably taking a call on that
Yeah,
right या
he
किसी
takes care of
एजेंट
it.
से
In fact, he
right
calls me investment illiterate.
this is surprisingly this is the insight based on which Facebook did that ad आप YouTube पे जाके देखिएगा it's an amazing ad and they want girls जब girls रहती हैं तब से they should be brought into this whole thing about financial literacy so that they become financially independent and able to take all the financial decisions themselves. Very
Absolutely.
emotively, very well done. Very well done.
And that's the reason why you felt that this ad was also revolutionary, because usually males are used in these kind of advertisements, but here it was
Yes.
about women,
No, so the
so
whole
they
idea
need
was
to get into this.
the ad was based on a consumer insight, and the insight
Correct.
was women stay away from financial decisions. Okay?
Correct.
They feel scared, not confident, or whatever. So shouldn't they become
Yes.
an equal part of that and be able to do that? Otherwise, we have 50% population illiterate in as far as financial decision making is concerned.
Yes, yes. And also, I have come across a lot of, friends who got, hoodwinked, because of fishing, whaling. ये भी काफी चल रहा
हाँ,
है
हाँ.
due to,
ये तो खैर
so,
मेल्स के साथ भी उतना ही
so
होता है, फीमेल्स के साथ भी उतना ही होता
females के साथ भी, yeah, there is no gender.
है.
Gender is not involved over there.
Yeah,
लेकिन इसका भी ये व्यूअर्स ने ध्यान में रखना है कि कोई लिंक अगर उनको ऐसा लगता है कि रिलायबल नहीं है तो अननेसेसरीली प्रेस नहीं करनी चाहिए
बिल्कुल
बिकॉज
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल.
लॉट्स ऑफ टाइम्स यू लाइकली टू लूज मनी एंड बहुत कुछ मतलब आजकल चल रहा है सो इस
इनफैक्ट
वजह
इनफैक्ट पैंडेमिक के टाइम में, लेट मी क्लैरिफाई दिस, apart from digital media exploding, even digital crimes have exploded because most of the times we are
yes
online. So online fraud has really gone through the roof during this period. So that's
true
another big
true
issue.
true coming to a very sweet question, Dr. Arora, you're handling digital media marketing, social media marketing for your school, Scindia School Gwalior, which is
Ah,
also your alma mater. So, how do you feel? I mean, you must be feeling nostalgic. Do you revel in the reminiscences of the past? What is the connect
like,
like?
it's a great experience because that school, your school, and especially a fully residential school where you've stayed five
Yes,
years
yes,
in the hostel there is like a part of you. A complete, it's in every DNA inside you. You know what you've done there, all the stuff that happens in a boys' boarding school. So everything
oh
carries
yes,
a
oh yes,
lot. Everything carries a lot of memories there. And उसमें आपको उनकी अच्छाइयाँ भी मालूम है, थोड़ी बहुत बुराइयाँ भी मालूम है. So you are in a best position to do justice to, and there is an emotive bond there. You're not working for
yes,
that account for money at all. Money मिला बीच में.
true.
There are incidences when things were not so good. Pandemic हुआ, everything came to a standstill. Admissions वहाँ पे भी रुक गई थी. So we said, okay, two
Ji,
months we'll work free for you. We will not charge you anything because one wasn't working for them only for money. It was a different kind
correct.
of a relationship.
Because even
And
schools were hit hard. Yeah, yeah.
oh
Pandemic
yes, oh
also.
yes,
Yeah, yeah,
everyone.
yeah, yeah.
So
Yes,
you work with them. It's like working for yourself. You're not working for anyone else there. So you
correct.
live that work yourself. So बहुत मजा आता है करने में. Suggest to
डॉक्टर अरोरा एक सीरियल आया करती थी नींव धरती पर
हाँ
सूरज
हाँ हाँ.
की किरणें रखे नींव
You
उजाले
remember the
की
song also?
रखे
Wow,
नींव उजाले
wow,
की
wow. You
बिल्कुल
have a
बिल्कुल
tremendous
and that
memory,
was
yeah.
shot that this was your surprise this was shot in your school Scindia School
Yes,
Gwalior.
yes, yes,
And
yes.
what a serial. And even today, I guess we remember those serials. I get very nostalgic, when
You remember
कोई
the
भी
whole
स्कूल
song
का
that tells me
serial
a
जब
lot.
आप बिल्कुल तो ये एक झलक थी Dr. Sanjay Arora ki, and he gave us a lot of information about digital media marketing, about the entire marketing conundrum, and his presentation. Dr. Arora, it was a pleasure talking to you. What a privilege! Everything was very well exemplified, very well presented. And you are quite articulate. Let me give you a compliment.
You know,
Thank
coming
you
from you,
so
it's a
much for
compliment. And
joining.
the pleasure genuinely was all mine. It was great fun being with you, and the way you kind of explored every facet and went deep is really nice. And it was really a pleasure. Thank you so very much. So kind of you to host me. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Arora. Thank you once again. So, dear viewers, you were
Anytime.
watching Boggling Conversations with me, Dr. Purnima Kulkarni. Please like our Facebook page, our Instagram page, and also press the bell icon and subscribe to our YouTube channel. I was on Reverse Energy That Flows. See you once again on yet another episode of Boggling Conversations. Here, I'm Dr. Purnima Kulkarni bidding goodbye. Shabak khair. See you.